One of the many reasons we love talking to you is that you put some confidence into our heart and steel into our spines. And I've got to say, I've taken some of your lead after listening to what you've been doing on your show and these conversations about fight, right? They're always going to be mean. They're always going to be nasty. Don't fall into it. Don't fall into their games. Fight, 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 and see where the result ends up being, right? That's very true. I think it's desperately important that Trump starts to hit the ground with a sense of urgency, because I know he can tweet and I know he can do an interview, and I hope he does a town hall every couple of weeks and looks like he's interacting with people as a way of sending the message that she's not. But with a campaign that is like this, we know Harris is about to go on a multi-state thing, and that'll be a whole media obsession. Do you think that Trump has to start the sprint now, that he has to start behaving like it's a month to go now?
Yeah, I do. I think we're getting a little late already. I think, she's had 2 weeks of fawning media coverage in which he seems to be struggling to define her in the way he's very good at doing normally. And I haven't seen it. I've seen a couple of ads. They've been decent. They're not everywhere. And she's running with the media narrative, and he's got to do what he always did. That's why, honestly, I know that this is controversial, but I think the comments he made at the National Association of Black Journalists event were smart, because it got him the earned media coverage that he was so famous for back in 2016. He would say controversial things. He would completely dominate the news cycle for days. Yes, it was negative, but people were hearing about him nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. And in that message, just like we've seen in so many of the others that Trump says that are controversial, he reached a core block of his voting base that nobody else was really listening to. You've seen all these Black men post on Twitter, on elsewhere. They agreed with Trump. They don't see her as Black. They saw her touting her Indian heritage far more than her Black heritage, and they felt like they knew why. So, it's like we always are so quick to judge Trump, and we don't know what he's being advised, what he knows that we don't know, or whether it's just instinctual. But it served him extremely well when he was running from nowhere, from the wilderness back in 2015, 2016, and all the media was universally against him. And I think he's got to go back to that. I actually think getting all of the unearned media, or the earned media coverage, is a great idea. He needs to continue with that in order to wrest the coverage back from her, because right now we really are seeing a coronation. Now, having said that, I think there have to be some smart plays in there. And attacking the very popular governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, to settle an old personal score because you don't like that he didn't back your election claims, is not one of them. That's just stupid. It's just stupid. It's Trump's narcissism that makes that kind of a decision. And just nobody should support that. We already lost the control of the U.S. Senate to the normies because he did this after he lost, and he ruined the Georgia Senate runoff. And there's just no sense in going back over Brian Kemp. Women in Georgia who want to vote for Trump prefer Brian Kemp. Why would you do this? You've got to find a way to check your ego. But I don't know who can speak to Trump in a way that he would hear that message.
Well, exactly. But I've got to say, again, little things that make you think, okay, it doesn't matter where the narrative is, some reality is going to kick in here. The economy this week, international affairs this week, also the inevitability of how the Democrats, there's no way they're going to be able to keep away the psychos from the convention, even though they've made the choice here to obliterate the more obvious pick. And I agree. He has the capacity to make the smart decisions, but if we're going to litigate 2020, he loses 2024. And with the stakes where we are now, with this completely untested top of the ticket and this nutbag backing it up, they used to say it was the all-in election. It is now the all-in election, and the place where you must go each and every day is the Megyn Kelly Show, Sirius XM. Get it on podcast, find it on YouTube, or with us each and every week here. Megyn, enjoy the ride.
Oh my gosh, Paul, I'm looking forward to it, sort of.